The Indians return home to find an old friend sitting in the visitors' dugout. Victor Martinez makes his return to Cleveland wearing a Boston Red Sox uniform to take on his former teammates. His old battery.
Welcome to downtown Cleveland at Progressive Field for Game 1 of the 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the news today that Jonathan Papelbon will be placed on the bereavement list for the Red Sox means he'll be gone for at least the next 3 days. As a result, the Red Sox made a move today, and they bring up Booth Bonser. Bonser coming into this missed all of 2009 with right shoulder surgery. In 9 games with the Pawtucket Red Sox, made 8 starts. His last 2 starts for the Paw Sox, he pitched 13 innings and allowed only 1 run. He is available and in the bullpen tonight. We welcome in Jerry Remy and Jerry. Victor Martinez coming back to Cleveland for the first time and going into the visiting clubhouse. Must be pretty strange.
This has to be a very strange day for Victor to come to this ballpark where he played so many years and go to that visiting clubhouse. So, it feels like home for him, except now he's going to beat up on his old team. And, what a wonderful career he did have with the Cleveland Indians. You look at some of the numbers. To add to that, he hit 300 better than 3 times with the Indians. He's a 3-time All-Star with Cleveland. In 2007, he led the Tribe in average, doubles, homers, and RBIs. And, of course, we know what great baseball he's playing right now for the Boston Red Sox. Heidi Watney had a chance to catch up with Victor early this afternoon and talk about returning to Cleveland.
Also, it should have been a 1-0 perfect game. He got ripped off in the bottom half of the 8th. He was brilliant. Gave up 9 hits in 8 innings. I'd like to see him stay there. And the offense is going to have to stay patient for Dice K, because this guy, you never know. He never gives in to the hitters, and he throws a lot of pitches. You can't be aggressive with him.
And that's the way it stacks up tonight here at Progressive Field. Victor Martinez and the Red Sox take on the Cleveland Indians, and we'll have all the action for you coming up next. Tonight against the Boston Red Sox. Boston comes in tonight 3rd best in the American League's Eastern Division, 4.5 games back in back of front-running Tampa Bay. Fausto Carmona on the hill for the Tribe tonight. Let's get a look at Terry Francota's starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. It will be Marco Scutaro, the shortstop, leading it off, followed by Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz batting 3rd, followed by the cleanup man, Kevin Youkilis. Victor Martinez will hit 5th, then it's J.D. Drew, followed by Adrian Beltre, Bill Hall, and Josh Reddick.
Well, tonight's starting pitcher brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where you'll get 2 free Tribe tickets when you spend $50. Fausto Carmona making his 12th start, a 4-4 record, 353 earned run average, coming off a terrific start in Detroit where he had to face Galarraga, who had that complete game one-hitter. Should have been the perfect game, but Carmona pitched brilliantly. And let's take a look at the Home Depot doing more on defense. Indians defensive lineup behind Carmona tonight. It's Kearns, Crow, and Chu in the outfield. It'll be Peralta, Donald, Valbuena, and Branyan on the infield. Mike Redmond behind the plate as always. That's more savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Marco Scutero standing in to get us started here tonight. Fausto Carmona with his 4-4 record, but a 353 earned run average. And his first pitch in there for a strike.
Well, you mentioned this Boston club. It's a patient club. They're going to make you get in the strike zone. They are number 1 in runs scored. They are second in the league in drawing walks. They have drawn 235. So they will make you throw quality strikes.
Just missed to Pedroia to Marco Scutero, 1-1 the count. A little bit of a different look for Terry Francona's team in the back end of their bullpen as the series starts tonight. Jonathan Papelbon, the Red Sox closer, was placed on the bereavement list before tonight's ball game, so Daniel Bard will take over as the closer, and they've activated Boof Bonser, who we saw with Minnesota in recent years. Two-one pitch to Scutero, and he pops it back foul out of play. There is Dustin Pedroia waiting in the on-deck circle, followed by David Ortiz here in the first inning. It's a Red Sox team that got off to a slow start, but they have played much better of late, and a lot of that has to do, I believe, with the fact that David Ortiz is swinging a much better bat. 2-2 pitch. I mean, he's a guy that they count on in the middle of that lineup.
Right.
Last year, got off to a horrendously slow start. Same type situation this year, but man, he was crushing the ball in May.
Well, yes, he did. He had one of the best Mays, and I mean, we'll talk more about him when he gets up there. But you know, from late May to this one, he's been unbelievable.
Scutero drives the ball to deep left, and it's over the head of Kearns. He's in the second base with a leadoff double here tonight.
Scutero, his 12th double on the year. And as we said, we'll go deep in the count. And there's one that's sort of flat. He's a good fastball hitter. Loves to turn on the heater. Gets one inside, gets it past Kearns and left. And gives the Red Sox a good start tonight. The leadoff double.
Brings up Dustin Pedroia. And he wanted the bunt, jabbed at it, and it's strike one. Red Sox have collected 10 or more hits in 5 of their last 7. Batting as a team, .331 since the end of May, so they have definitely been trying to cure what ails them with offense. 0-2 the count on Pedroia.
Well, they usually do. I mean, this is a team that they are going to score. They do have solid pitching. But when you look at the overall numbers, their ERA is .436, so it's down below the middle of the pack when you look at everybody else.
2-strike pitch. High chopper to third. Peralta throws on the run, and he just does get Pedroia. Marco Scutero moving to third on the play.
Well, gets his job done, gets the runner over with 2 strikes. That's a sinker. It's basically, that's the only place you could hit that ball is on the ground. And it popped up. Peralta comes in on the run, gets him just at first base, but Scutaro gets to third.
Gives David Ortiz a chance to put the Red Sox in front here in the first inning. And he looks at a ball outside. Ortiz 0 for his last 13 coming into tonight.
But here's a guy they were really riding in Boston because in April because he wasn't hitting any home runs. Didn't have any home runs.
Much like they were a year ago early in the season.
But think about it. After his first home run a year ago, he's hit 40 home runs since that point. And only one other American League player has hit more, and that's Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
And he hit 43 since his first one from last year.
Look at that. He hit 10 in the month of May.
Oh, and 27 RBIs. 363.
So did he hit one in April then? Well, he must have. I didn't think he had any in April. I guess he had one home run in April. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike.
You know, the funny thing when you're older and you're a DH and situations like this, you have a bad week or a bad 2 weeks and people are ready to write you off. You know, like you're over, you're done with in your career. When you're younger, this guy was one of the best hitters going. You know, in the middle part of that lineup.
3-1 the count with the right-handed hitting Kevin Youkilis on deck. Ortiz always dangerous in these situations where you tip the count in his favor. 3 on the right side for the Indians defensively, and Ortiz takes ball 4.
Well, it looked like, Fausto didn't really want a whole lot to do with him there. He has a double play in order with Youkilis up, but you've got another tough hitter. Youkilis has only grounded into 3 double plays this year.
Youkilis has hit in 6 straight games with a dozen hits during his streak. And he takes a strike. One thing about Youkilis, he has such a good eye, he will get on base. He's reached safely in 50 of the 59 games with a plate appearance this year.
Well, I know, and it's when you look at his stance and the way his top hand is on the bat before he gets ready to hit. But I'll tell you what, you wouldn't teach somebody how close his feet are together, but when it comes time to hit and that bat is in the ready position.
He had 31 walks in May, which led the majors and tied Ted Williams for the second highest total in club history for a single month. Or I should say for that month, for the month of May. There's a high drive, deep right center field. Crow is back, and he makes the catch on a stride in front of that warning track. Tagging and scoring is Marco Scutaro, and the Red Sox grab a 1-0 lead as Kevin Youkilis drives home his 39th run of the year for the Red Sox. Now Victor Martinez coming to the plate for the first time since being traded by the Indians. Not really much of an ovation. Then again, not a whole lot of folks here to begin with. Runner at first with 2 down. And he looks at a strike. Victor, the .294 average, 8 homers, 29 runs batted in. One ball, 1 strike. Victor told me when he was walking into the ballpark tonight with his son, They started walking into the visitors' clubhouse, and the son said, "Daddy, no, this is the wrong one."
he
Victor,
knew it.
Victor said, "I had to tell him." I said, "No, son, this is us now. This is where we go." And even though there's been a lot of turnover here with the Indians, Martinez still has a lot of friends, both players, coaches,
well,
staff members.
When you grew up in the organization, you were drafted, and you made your name here before the trade happened. I mean, this is something he'll always remember, something always special. He's, as I said in the open, he is one guy that truly did not want to leave this uniform.
Short hopped it short by Donald, and he throws out Victor Martinez, and the inning is over. But the Red Sox grab the lead. 1-0 Boston. Indians coming to bat. Indians will have to battle from behind in their first at bat. Let's look at the Indians starting lineup. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Trevor Crowe, Shin-Soo Choo, and Austin Kearns, followed by Russell Branyan, Johnny Peralta, and Travis Hafner. Peralta really swinging the bat well right now. Valbuena batting 7th. Mike Redmond behind the plate hits 8th, and Jason Donald is batting 9th.
Daisuke Matsusaka making his 8th start is 4-2. Has a 5.49 earned run average in his 41 innings, 32 strikeouts, 21 walks. You better be patient because he never gives in. He started the year on the 15-day disabled list with a neck strain. And, that's part of the reason why their starting pitching started off slowly. He is 2-1 in his career against the Indians with a 3.86 earned run average.
And the first pitch is up high, ball 1.
And this is where a normally aggressive offense, they better take a few pitches and make him work.
Two balls, no strikes. Crowe at 261 average. Homer, 11 ribbies, couple of doubles, a triple, 5 steals.
Well, getting back to Daisuke, he has given up 12 earned runs in his 7 starts in the first inning and 12 hits. So he scuffles to find the strike zone.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. And it's popped foul, out of play.
Daisuke, a guy coming off a start against the Oakland A's where he went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 10 hits, and he got the win. But he's a very deliberate worker. You can see him rock into that delivery.
And he pops it up shallow center. In comes Reddick. One down.
Let's check out the defense behind Dice K tonight. In the outfield from left to right, it's going to be Hall, Reddick, and Drew. On the infield from third to first, Beltre, Scudero, Pedroia, and Youkilis. Victor Martinez is behind the plate. The Red Sox ranked 4th in the American League. They have made 32 errors. They have turned 52 double plays.
Shin-Soo Choo. 8 homers, 11 doubles, and a triple. So plenty of extra base pop for the Indians right fielder. Looks at a ball down low to even the count at 1-1. Went too far, says home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. And the rest of the crew looks like this, with Mike Everett at first, Todd Tishner at second, and Andy Fletcher down at third. Daisuke Matsuzaka's 1-2 pitch. Chu, a big bouncer behind the bag, fielded cleanly by Youkilis. 2 quick outs. All month long, when the Indians hit a home run, Sports Time Ohio, Shell, and Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care are giving away free gasoline. Our first contestant tonight is Rocky Pease from Time Warner. Well, he's not from Time Warner. He's watching on Time Warner Cable. Not sure where Rocky's from. But anyway, Shell will provide $300 in free gas for every homer the Indians hit, and $1,000 in free gas, plus a set of tires for every grand slam this month. Visit STOHD.com right now and get yourself registered. Austin Kearns takes a strike. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kearns really swung the bat well in Chicago, as evidenced by those numbers. Road trip got off to a slow start for him, but he finished it strong. And he ropes that one into left field. Picking right up where he left off.
Yes, indeed.
In that series against the White Sox. So for Austin Kearns, 9 hits now in his last 14 at-bats.
Well, when you're seeing the ball well and you just stay back and he gets himself a fastball and, make it look easy. That all comes from seeing the baseball, and he's in a very good frame of mind right now.
Russell Brandon looks at a ball outside. 246 average for Russell. 7 homers. 15 runs batted in.
Brandon, the guy that's going to try and get it going here at home. He's hitting just .220 at your home ballpark. 9 hits and 41 at-bats and just 2 RBIs. All of his home runs have come on the road.
Fouled off the mask of Martinez and right back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count with a runner at first, 2 down here. Bottom of the first inning. Indians trailing it 1-0.
Just a little bit above his zone.
Going inside. The 1-2. Sounded like it broke his bat on one hop. It's bobbled and dropped by Beltre. Now they've got Kearns kind of hung up in no man's land, and he's tagged out to end the inning. So Kearns, after he rounded second, got stuck in the middle of nowhere, and the Red Sox get out of the jam. 1-0 Boston after 1. Second inning, and leading off for Boston, J.D. Drew, right fielder, batting .269, 6 homers, 33 runs batted in. Red Sox with a 1-0 lead. Trevor Crowe makes the grab in center field, and J.D. Drew is retired to start inning number 2.
Well, Branyan really gets jammed. Now, this is Beltre coming in, and that ball hops, and he boots the ball. But Kearns making the turn, thinking third base. Beltre picks it up, but hustling from shortstop over there.
It's Marco Scudero. And
yeah.
I think, is that what Kearns did? He thought he could beat him to the bag initially?
Exactly right. That's why he took off, because Beltre fielded it, and nobody was there, but Scudero was able to get over there. So it's the error on Beltre that Branyan reached, but then they were able to get Kearns over at third base and in the rundown. Strange play, but you know when you're shading him up the middle as a pull hitter.
How about Adrian Beltre leading the Red Sox in runs batted in?
Well, this guy, you've seen him before. He's can swing the bat. He's an excellent third baseman. When healthy, this guy seemed to be hurt and injured all the time when he was in Seattle. But you can see 4 homers and 25 ribbies, so 15 off the pace from a year ago. Batting average almost 100 points better. And he's hitting in a lineup. This guy's hitting 7th.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out.
Well, the series against the Red Sox will continue for the next 3 nights. But tomorrow night, all fans in attendance will receive an umbrella courtesy of Progressive Insurance. Great lower box seats are still available, so visit Indians.com or stop by any Indians team shop for tickets.
High pop. Converging is Chu, and into foul territory, he makes the catch. And the Red Sox go quickly and quietly. 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0. Red Sox lead it. Bottom of the second inning, you see Manny Acta talking with Austin Kearns, who maybe just got a little too aggressive for the Indians in that first turn at bat. Here's Johnny Peralta taking the ball up and in. Johnny Peralta had a pretty good series in Chicago, like Austin Kearns.
Yeah, the two big boys swung the bat well.
There's a high fly ball, left field. Pretty routine, though, for Bill Hall. One down. Well, yesterday, Johnny Peralta provided our great clip of the game, courtesy of Great Clips. Peralta really charged the Indians' offense early, but they couldn't hold on to that lead. Relax, you're at Great Clips.
Yeah, that was a strange thing. For once, they went out there and scored in the first inning, came back in the third, and they did score early, and Westbrook could not hold the lead. And they had 6 on the board. They had a 6-2 lead.
Travis Hafner. He had a rough road trip. That's putting it mildly, I guess.
What do you have, one hit?
2 total.
2 for 29.
I think he had 1 to start, and then 0 for in the middle, and had 1 to finish.
Well, I remember the 0 for because it was a long one.
0 for 25? Yeah, I think so.
He finally got that double to center field. Yeah, I don't remember the first one in New York. But anyway, he's caught in between, it seems like. You know, he's back into that zone again where he's not swinging at, he's swinging at some strikes, but he's just unsure. He's caught between. You see him falling a lot of balls off the third base dugout.
.21 pitches so far for Daisuke Matsuzaka. 15 have been for strikes, so that's a good sign for him. As Pedroia will throw out Hafner 2 down.
Game 2 of the 4-game series right here tomorrow night. You can save big with the new Budweiser 2 for Tuesday offer. If you get 2 tickets in the bleachers, and $20 in ticket plus food credit for only $32. That's a savings of $28. So call 216-420-HITS. 2 for Tuesday tomorrow.
Matsuzaka has a reputation of throwing a lot of pitches and a guy who will nibble, really work, not necessarily the corners, but work off the plate, and thus leads to a lot of balls and a lot of pitches thrown. But tonight, he's the master of efficiencies through the first inning and 2/3.
Well, he gets to that point, though, where he never gives in. And, you know, he could. I've seen him pitch games before where he gets you 0-2, and then you can't find the strike zone. And the more aggressive you get as a hitter, you know, then you're going to help him out. He averages about 18 pitches per inning.
Now the 2-strike pitch to Valbuena. And a weak ground ball hit to second. And the Indians go 1-2-3. Through 2, it's Boston 1, Cleveland nothing. Welcome back. Want to remind you to stay tuned later in the game to see what our Miller Taste Greatness moment will be. Little tapper up the first base line. Carmona had trouble getting it out of his glove and didn't get him.
Yeah, he almost
I think Brandon came off the bag too quick.
I'll tell you what, I'm surprised Brandon even caught the ball, because what he did, he spiked it down almost like throwing a dart. This guy was going down the line, and Carmona had a tough time getting it out, so he tried to rush it quickly. And, you know, watch him. He's in his line. Didn't get it. Now as he's going towards the line, he's got to throw it, and Brandon did come off. But, I mean, there's not much you can do there. That's a tough play. That's going to be an error on Carmona.
Now, why is it an error on Carmona if Brandon came off the bag?
Because Brandon couldn't see the ball. And this guy's coming up the first base line, his body going to first base. Believe me, when he spiked it, he had no clue where it was coming. He sees a base runner come to first base. That ball surprised Brandon. I bet he never even knew he had it in his glove.
All right, so a runner at first for Marco Scutaro, who bunts third base side. Foul. Scutaro doubled the left and scored the only run of this game his first time up.
The one thing that the Red Sox don't do is they don't steal a lot of bases, which is a good thing for Carmona. The Red Sox have stolen 17 as a team, which is last in the league. But base stealers against Carmona are 16 out of 18 this year, and they've had their way. So that's a good thing. And usually manager Terry Francona now, you may start your runner. They just don't have a lot of speed, and they don't like to make a lot of outs on the bases, especially playing in Fenway Park. Their true base stealer is on the DL, Dustin Pedroia.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yes, Jacoby Ellsbury.
Pedroia's on deck.
That
started with a D.
No, I looked over and I saw him, and I was thinking of Ellsbury.
Carmona, he's got Scudero down on the count. Missed too low with it. 2-2 the count. Runner goes. Pitches outside. Throw down to second base. Not in time, and the ball goes into center field, but it's backed up smartly there by Trevor Crowe. Reddick with his first steal. Hey, Redmond got rid of it quickly. But the short hop, Valbuena couldn't bring it in.
Well, they're even going to try to run, and that was a nice play by Mike Redmond. He short hops him, and there's not much you can do to get anything on that throw. Valbuena trying to decoy him like he still had the ball and apply the tag to him, but he just didn't get up and run, and Crowe backed it up nicely.
Ooh, that one got away from him. And Scudero winds up with a free pass. So first two aboard here in inning number 3 for Boston. Let's go back to the studios right now for our in-game update. Al Pulaski has the latest on the baseball draft and what the Indians have done already here tonight.
Yeah, Matt, Rick, they had the 5th overall pick, and they've selected its left-hander Drew Pomerantz out of Ole Miss. He led the SEC in strikeouts, ERA, and opposing batting average this year while posting a 7-2 record. Drew Pomerantz, the big lefty from Ole Miss, is Cleveland's first draft pick this year. Back to you.
Bunt foul first base side. Drew Pomerantz, as Al told you, big kid out of Mississippi, 6'5", 230-pound left-hander. Fastball 90 to 92. He's got a curveball, not the big 12 to 6 variety, but a breaking ball and a changeup. Oh, 1 pitch fouled back out of play. According to MajorLeagueBaseball.com, Pomerantz has solid command, above average with his fastball and his curve. He was Mississippi's Friday starter this year, which means he started many of their big games of the year. Broke his back.
Watch it.
They get 1 at second, but they cannot turn 2. Reddick goes to third on the play. But with flying shrapnel, they were, in some cases, lucky to get the 1.
It was. It wasn't hit that hard. So when Donald just flipped it to Valbuena, that's it. But Carmona doesn't see it. He's looking at the ball. He doesn't see the bat. That ball lands. I mean, he hears it hit the ground right behind him. You weren't going to turn it because Pedroia, he always goes down the line hard. You can see he's out of your picture by the time Brandon gets the ball. So they do get the first out, but they have runners at first and third now.
David Ortiz looks at the ball outside.
Well, for Carmona, he has induced 9 ground ball double plays this year, 8 of them coming off the bat of left-handers. So if you can get the big guy right here to hit it at one of your infielders on the right side, you're in good shape. Like that.
He does indeed. Valbuena gets 1 there. And Donald can't turn it. Oh, believe it or not, David Ortiz just beat out an infield ground ball double play.
No, that shouldn't happen.
And the Red Sox now have a 2-0 advantage.
That should not happen. Ortiz should never beat out an infield grounder where you got a chance to turn the double play. I don't know what happened between Valbuena and Donald, but this should not happen. He rolls over on it, and you see he's just getting out of the box. He's slow. That's okay. And he just beats it out. I don't know. I'm just thinking that ball's got to be turned. He doesn't get down the line that well. He's one of the slowest down the line.
By beating it out, Ortiz picks up his 34th run batted in on the year.
So the error comes back and haunts Carmona.
No balls, 2 strikes on Kevin Youkilis. And Youkilis socks one deep to center, but Crow is back and he will make the catch. Red Sox pick up a gift run here in the third. They lead it 2-0. Trevor Crow. Daisuke Matsuzaka delivers. And it's down low. Up high. This is the first game tonight that Victor Martinez has caught Daisuke Matsuzaka since they had a little falling out back in New York on May 17th. Martinez was behind the plate that night. Matsuzaka was rocked for 7 runs on 9 hits in 4 2/3 innings. And after the ball game, Martinez was asked about Matsuzaka's performance, and Victor kind of leaned back in his chair and said, he's the guy who makes the decisions out there on the mound. He decides what pitches he's going to throw. And the fact that Victor said that led many to believe that there was a problem between the two. Beltre fires over from third, 1 down. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question. AT&T rethink possible. Indians' single season record for most home runs as a catcher. Seems like a trick question, doesn't it? You would think it would be Victor Martinez. Johnny Romano.
Wow, you're throwing out the names.
Well, he was the
Where
big
was Victor?
home run hitting catcher between, Victor, I think, broke his record for most career home runs as a catcher. But maybe he didn't get his single season record. Have to wait and see. 1-0 pitch. After the perceived spat between Matsuzaka and Martinez, John Farrell and manager Terry Francona got them both together, sat down. I think they talked it all out, but Victor did not catch him in his next 3 starts. So this is their first time back together. And Francona downplayed it immediately, saying, I think it's just a difference of opinion, and you're going to have that. Guys aren't always going to agree when it comes to what pitch you want to throw in what situation.
And he's just coming back off the DL, let's say, early in his season, and they're trying to get him on track. And, you throw Victor back there, and if he doesn't see eye to eye, he doesn't get into a rhythm. And you know what? As Victor says, he has the ultimate decision to throw what he wants.
Exactly.
You call your own game then.
Donald sends a fly ball to Reddick in center field, 2 down. Every home run hit by the Indians this year raises money for the Gathering Place, which helps individuals and families who are battling cancer. Gathering Place does this from 2 locations, one on the east side, one on the west side. We've raised over $2,000 so far this year. You can log on to touchedbycancer.org to make a donation yourself or simply to learn more about the Gathering Place. They do great work, and they can help you if you or someone you know or love has cancer. Trevor Crowe fly to center his first time up. 1 ball, no strikes. Bottom line is, we know from our own experience that Victor Martinez is a player who will take charge. That's something Eric Wedge taught him, that when you're the catcher, you're in control out there. Take charge of your position. We saw it with Cliff Lee. The 2 of them butted heads.
Absolutely.
In a very public display down in Texas. He's not going to back down if he feels strongly about something.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's blown out of proportion. If a guy wants to throw his pitch, the bottom line is you can throw what you want. But as a catcher, your job is to put down what you feel you can get this guy out with. And they know the hitters, and they go over the scouting reports as much as the pitchers do, if not more.
Now, one thing I always remember that Eric would say about the catching position, he wanted his guys to take ownership. So if that guy hits a home run, you, the catcher, should feel like he hit it off you just as much as the pitcher.
Well, and guys that are out there day in and day out, they do.
They do, yeah.
And I mean, even though Veritek is their other catcher, he's been around 100 years. And, Dice K grew up with him. So maybe his comfort zone's a little better, and with Veritek behind the plate. And you could certainly understand that.
Well, we've seen it with Fausto Carmona. I mean, he developed a relationship early in spring training with Mike Redmond, and he developed a comfort level, and boom, it took off.
Well, and you're right. It's not that I don't think Lou Marson could go back there and he could probably do the same thing the way Fausto's throwing the ball right now. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of their managers. They want that comfort zone for their temperamental pitchers. Let's put it that way.
Good at bat for Trevor Crowe, who draws a 2-out walk. I like the way you put that. Temperamental pitchers.
Sure. I mean, they got egos. You got to stroke them. Do whatever you have to do to get them to pitch on their 5th day. And if it's put a guy back there that really doesn't make a difference, go ahead and do it. At least he feels better. It's how you feel. It's your day.
It's your special day.
It's your day, and we're all here to be a part of it.
There's still some underlying issues that you have left over from your playing days.
Is that right, Doctor?
We might want to get you on the couch with
Dr. Underwood,
Dr. Drew, or Dr. Phil.
Dr. Drew.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Dr. Phil. Yeah, you're not getting me on that couch. I'll screw him up. He'll be off TV before you know it.
And Trevor Crowe picks up his 6th stolen base of the year, as Martinez bounced to throw in there, and Scudero tried to slap the tag down but couldn't get it in there in time. So Trevor Crow into scoring position with 2 down now.
One of those plays where the throw is going to short hop, and you can run on Victor. We know that. A lot of teams have done that this year, the short hop. That's closer than I thought. I thought that glove, he makes a nice tag right here. Scudero gets it, and it's right there, but it looked like his foot did get the base before he was tagged.
Shin-Soo Choo trying to get the Indians back in it here. Looking for that 2-out base hit, which is something the Indians have lived on all season long offensively. Up high, 3 balls and a strike. Trying to think of the guy's name. Remember the old Newhart show?
Yes.
Remember the goofy patient that he had that just drove him crazy? Like, that would be you. That guy would be you to a psychiatrist.
I'll think of his
You'd have
name.
him talking to himself.
We knew him. He used to come to the games when we were out in California. His real name. Okay.
Oh, 3-1 pitch. Chu with a liner to center, coming hard. Reddick will make the head-high catch. Riley.
Yes, Jack Riley.
Jack Riley. All righty, now that's cleared up. Nothing. Boston on top. Fausto Carmona has averaged 15 pitches per inning through the first 3. 30 of his 45 pitches have been for strikes. But he's on the short end of a 2-0 score. Victor Martinez grounded out his first time up. Two balls, no strikes. Over the outside edge.
Well, you know, a guy that has caught Carmona before should know everything that he's going to try and do in this situation, except Carmona is a little different animal this year.
High drive, deep to left. Kearns back, looking up. It's off the fence, right in the middle of that out-of-town scoreboard. His throw is way offline. Otherwise, they would have had a shot at Victor, but he's in. with a leadoff double.
And the veteran hitter does what he has to do. He figures Carmona's going to stay away from him with a sinker. He does a nice job, and I mean, he drives the ball the other way. Look at that ball's not a bad pitch down and away. He didn't try to pull it. He stayed on it, and Carmona supplied all the power. So Victor, beautiful job of going the other way with that ball. His 16th double. Second time in this game in 4 innings they've had a leadoff double in the game. Scudero started the game with a double. He came around to score.
J.D. Drew fly to center his first time up. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Boy, you look at Victor Martinez, looks like he's going down in weight class. Like maybe he's going from the heavyweight division down to super welterweight. He's really trimmed down. And, you know, the way he rolled into second base there, it's really helped his speed, too, I think.
I don't know. We'll have to put him in a race. Would we have Garco and who else? We had some slow ones.
I think Victor and Mike Redmond would be a good foot race.
Okay.
2 catchers, same position, a lot of wear and tear.
Maybe you can set that up.
Make it a pay-per-view event. 3-1 the count here on J.D. Drew. Red Sox up 2-0 here in the 4th. 3-1 pitch, and it's ball 4. So first 2 reach for Boston here in the 4th. And here's Victor Martinez, his thoughts on coming back to Cleveland.
It's pretty emotional. I mean, first time getting back here, and you know, it's a weird feeling. You know, just to turn in a different door, coming to a different clubhouse, and you know, stuff.
The last time we saw Victor Martinez on camera here at Progressive Field, he had sunglasses on for a much different reason. He was fighting back the tears on that day. And still, I could tell when I talked to him today, still, you could tell he was conflicted emotionally coming back here to Cleveland. I mean, you've talked a lot about it already. There are guys who may say all the right things to appease the media or for image reasons.
That's not him.
With him, it's just real.
It's sincere.
Very, very real emotion for him.
It's from the heart. I mean, you know, you don't see that happen often with a ball player. You know, he may say he wants to stay. Or he really did want to stay. It wasn't his fault. He was traded. And, I mean, he was traded for a reason where they had to dump salary. So he goes to Boston, and I'm going to tell you, he didn't want to go. And for me, he'll always be a Cleveland Indian, regardless. He can play anywhere he wants, and he can spend the rest of his career somewhere else other than Boston because he's free at the end of this year, isn't he? But he'll always be a Cleveland Indian in my eyes.
Bouncing ball to third. Peralta goes to second for 1. Valbuena turns 2. This time they got him. A double play going around the horn. Martinez to third base on the play, but now there are 2 down.
Well, just what the doctor ordered. That's only that's his 10th ground ball he's been able to get a guy to double into, just the second from a right-handed bat. So that comes in very handy right there. So now he's got a chance to get out of it.
Bill Hall fouled out his first time up. Looks at ball 1 down low. Manny Acta, his team down 2-zip here in the 4th inning. Boston with a runner at third and 2 down, and Carmona's fallen behind Bill Hall 3-0.
He's been behind at least 2-0 to 3 of the last 4 hitters. And that's not a good sign because you're getting down to the bottom part of that lineup. We'd like to be a little more aggressive if you could be.
And he missed badly, ball 4. Second walk in the inning. First and third, 2 down. Josh Reddick, the number 9 hitter, to the plate. Here's our Subway Fresh Face of the Game, brought to you by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. Nick Hagedorn in a 3-zip win at Harrisburg yesterday, went 5 innings for the victory, punched out 7. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Over the outside corner for a called strike on Josh Reddick. One ball, 1 strike. The other thing, too, that's interesting about Victor Martinez, who, as you pointed out, he'll be a free agent at season's end. He's only 31 years old.
Right.
So it's not like
switch hitting catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly.
There will definitely be a market out there for Victor Martinez.
There's no question. Especially an offensive player like he is.
High pop. Austin Kearns, the left fielder, gives way to Trevor Crowe, and the inning is over. So Carmona works around some trouble. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, still 2-0 Boston. And Johnny Peralta to bat for the Tribe. Up and in to Austin, who singled the left field his first time up. That's the only hit so far tonight for Cleveland.
You got to try and get base runners and keep Matsuzaka out of the stretch. With nobody on, hitters are hitting a .191 off him. Runners on, it goes up to 322. So try and get him out of the stretch. The only time tonight, Kearns single. That inning was ended on the very next hitter, and with a 2-out walk to Crowe, stole second base, and Chu popped up.
Swung on and missed. Well, one thing is for certain. The Indians have not had much luck or success against Boston in the last couple of years. The Red Sox 12-3 in the last 2 seasons against the Indians. High fly ball, routine in center field. Reddick, 1 down. The scoreboard update brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, it's Wendy's.
I'll send along a couple of birthday wishes. Julie DiBiasio, the daughter of Bobby D, turning 23. Julie, happy birthday to you. My brother Gary, back in Niagara Falls, New York. His birthday today. Happy birthday, bro.
Fouled right back. Adrian Johnson took that off the chest protector. That's why they wear it. One ball, 1 strike. Brandon, 7 home runs this year, all 7 on the road. Shatters the bat, but this may drop, blooping it, and it's over the head of Pedroia. And Russell Brandon has a 1-out single.
I'll tell you what, Brandon breaks more bats than anybody. This one did hit a seat, an empty seat. I followed that into the crowd, and it did. That's dangerous. I mean, look at the fan got the bat. It hit right behind him in that seat there.
Be careful with that jagged edge.
I'll tell you what, this thing whirly-birded in there. Look at that. He's got a little piece of the handle. And did he short arm that? Or I don't know if he lost that. It looked like he had the short arm on that. It'll go as a base hit.
Well, you know, that's Scudero on that shift
right
over on the right side.
Let's watch his arm. I don't know if he had a chance to reach it. It's a tough play because he's on the move, but it looked like he might have been able to catch that ball.
So Johnny Peralta tying run at the plate for the Indians here in the 4th. Well, how about that glove he's working there?
I think he got that one at Kids R Us.
That is the
Is that multicolored?
bizarre looking glove I think I've ever seen.
Doesn't matter what it does as long as it does the trick and he's able to catch.
Is it camouflage or is it looks like a hunting glove? Something you take out in the woods.
I can't see it. It blends into the grass. It is. It looks like it's camouflaged.
That is really odd. Popped him up. Pedroia is under this one. 2 down.
A couple other birthdays we'd like to send along. Ardell Flanagan of Liberty, Ohio, turning 91. Noreen Lindquist is 70 today. Noreen, happy birthday to you. Maria Bukovinsky is 31. And Austin Hakarian of Orion, Ohio, is 13. Happy birthday to each and every one of you.
Travis Hafner looks at a strike. Jammed him in the air to right. J.D. Drew runs it down, and the Indians are retired here in the 4th, and Boston maintains a 2-0 lead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by McCafe Frappes. Caramel or mocha blended with a hint of coffee and ice. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Visit PaninisGrill.com for a list of new locations. Fifth inning here at Progressive Field. Red Sox 2, Indians nothing. Marco Scutaro. He of the strange-looking glove leads off. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz to follow. Carmona misses inside 2-1 to count. Red Sox got a run on the first on a sacrifice fly by Kevin Youkilis that scored Scutaro. They added an unearned run in the third.
Scutaro signed as a free agent for the Red Sox, and it was funny because the Red Sox had Alex Gonzalez, who Toronto signed first, and that's where Scutaro was in Toronto. Had a good year. Now they switched teams, and Gonzalez is hitting the cover off the ball and having a terrific year in Toronto. And they're playing very well, by the way.
Yeah, they're right.
Toronto's tied with Boston right now, 4.5 games out coming into today's game.
This will go out of play. Two of the first three reached in the first inning for Boston. They had their first two on in the third, first two on in the fourth. And that has helped Terry Francona's club put a couple of runs on the board and grab the lead here tonight. This is driven toward right center field, and Crow can't get to it. He does flag it down. Makes a good strong throw to second, but not in time. As Scutaro has a leadoff double. Second straight inning. Third time tonight Boston has had a leadoff double.
All their hits have been doubles. All leadoff doubles. There it is. Scutaro for the second time. They were given a run back in the third inning, but he gets a ball out over the plate on the full count. He figures Fausto doesn't want to walk him. He has 4 in the game, and Crow gets over there. Can't cut it off in time. So Scutaro now with his 13th double.
Dustin Pedroia 0 for 2 steps in. Pedroia bounced to third his first time up. Hit into a fielder's choice back in the third. Ground ball up the middle. Donald goes to a knee, gets up, throws. He retires Pedroia for out number 1, but Scutaro able to go to third on the play. Boy, one thing about Dustin Pedroia, I don't think I've ever seen him half-step it down the line.
No, he hustles. That's what you love to see. He gets down the line. The first one over there to greet him as he walked into the dugout was the manager to say, nice job. He got his job done from second to third. And he busted it down the line. That's good to see, man. That doesn't take much to do.
Indians have to bring the infield in now for David Ortiz, who looks at ball 1 down low. I noticed that too, Rick, that you don't see many managers go from one end of the dugout all the way to the other to congratulate a player.
Congratulate. He's just saying nice job. He didn't do anything. He just moved the runner. Didn't get a hit, made an out, and hustled. It's amazing what you could do. Your managers love you. You do that day in and day out. Now you just get him in. He just wanted to let him know that
it's appreciated.
Yes, it is. It sure is.
The effort does not go unnoticed.
Well, something in the box scores, and that's where your teammates, your coaches, your managers, that's where you see it when you do that on a daily basis, day in and day out. That's team baseball. And when you do that consistently over 162 games, you're going to score more, you're going to win more, and the boys that are playing every day realize it.
Fouled off the foot of Mike Redmond.
Everybody should go down the line that hard every time. It only takes 4 times a year, or 4 times a game. That ball stayed down and it bit Mike Redmond.
Runner at third, 1 out, 2-1 pitch. Carmona's pitch is banged to first. They get the out there, and the runner has to hold. 2 down. Let's look at our GMC Sierra 5-star league leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Kevin Youkilis, 50 runs scored, leading. Now, this is not a guy necessarily you'd say, oh, there's a run-scoring leader. Usually you look at the fast guys, the leadoff guys. But he gets on base a lot, though.
Guys that are on base a lot, you've got guys that can hit around you, and you're going to get your share of runs scored.
David Ortiz does not get that run home from third this time. He did back in the third inning when he stayed out of a double play. Carmona ahead of Kevin Youkilis, 0-2. Red Sox are hitless against Carmona when he's been out of the stretch here tonight. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Boston 0 for 10 when Carmona's been working out of the stretch. But they still lead it 2-0. Red Sox 2, Indians nothing as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bottom third of the Indians order due up here against Daisuke Matsuzaka, who's working a 2-hitter through 4. He has walked 1, has not struck out a batter. He has made 55 pitches, 34 have been strikes. Valbuena grounded to second his first time up. Looks at ball 1 high.
On May 22nd, when they started interleague play, Daisuke had a beautiful game against the Phillies, where he went 8 innings and gave up just 1 hit. Walked 4 and struck out 5. And that's tough to do in that ballpark, Philly. We will see that on our next road trip, as a matter of fact, when we go into interleague play, start in Pittsburgh, go to Philly, and we wrap it up.
Was that the first of the 3 straight times Philly was shut out?
I don't think so, but they were shut out quite a few times after that.
Remember they had
back-to-back
shutouts. I wonder if that was maybe the first one of those.
That was the 22nd. They had, as a matter of fact, it might have been a start because they were shut out 5 out of 8 games.
And with that offense, that's hard to imagine.
In that ballpark, it's hard to imagine, yeah.
Here's the 1-2. And he's out looking. First strikeout tonight for Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, treat that special dad in your life to Father's Day right here at Progressive Field. Sunday the 20th, and enjoy a day of fun. You can play catch on the field, hit the cages here at the ballpark, have a ballpark picnic, and watch the Indians-Pirates game on the Giant scoreboard. Space is limited, so visit Indians.com or to get your tickets today.
Mike Redmond grounded to third his first time up. That game you were talking about that Daisuke Matsuzaka pitched in Philadelphia, he had 7 2/3 hitless innings before he gave up the first hit. Coming hard is Drew, but it's Pedroia who makes the easy catch. 2 down. Browns fans got a chance to win 2 season tickets courtesy of Sports Time Ohio. But a winner will be chosen this Thursday, and that's so you can attend the Browns Select This Seat Ticket event, which will be held at Cleveland Browns Stadium Saturday. So make sure you log on to STOHD.com right now for a chance to win 2 Browns season tickets courtesy of STO. Now that's coming up again. We're going to choose the winner this Thursday. Jason Donald flied to center his first time up. One ball, one strike. And the count 1-2. That game in Philly, too, is the longest he's ever gone in his career without allowing a hit. 7 2/3 innings.
Well, he's normally a guy that just throws so many pitches. He's not around that long.
Yeah.
You know, he gets around that 100-pitch mark, and he's around the 5th inning. Especially against a good offense. You know, you watch him pitch against the Yankees or some teams that, you know, take a lot of pitches. That's why that game in Philly is sort of a shocker because they've got a terrific offense.
And 112 pitches, 8 innings.
Right.
I mean, if he'd had a no-hitter, obviously he would have gone back out there for the 9th, but no telling how many he would have ended up with. Hard shot gets through Beltre. And Jason Donald aboard with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Beltre, Gold Glove caliber third baseman. He doesn't miss many.
No, that's why I'm saying that's a hit, no doubt. You get that, tries to run that 2-seamer in. I'm not sure. See if this ball stays down. He gets over there, and, yeah, he just came up on it a little bit. Error?
So Beltre charged with an error. And Jason Donald at first with 2 down. Trevor Crowe the batter. Yanked foul on a play down the right side. Crowe fly to center in the 1st inning. With 2 down in the 3rd, he walked, stole second, but was stranded there when Shin-Soo Choo lined one to center field for the final out. Unless Matsuzaka would have been supernatural, I don't think there was any way he could have lived up to the kind of hype and the kind of billing that he came to the United States with. when you consider how much Boston had to pay just to get the rights
the
to
organization.
and then to pay him a contract on top of all
it's
that.
It's over $100 million. You're right. The organization got 50, and I think he got 50.
Runner goes. Throw down to second, and they got him. A perfect throw by Victor Martinez, erasing Jason Donald. 5 complete from Progressive Field, 2-0 Boston. And we welcome you back into Progressive Field. 2-0. Red Sox lead it.
That is the home run porch over there in right field.
And a quiet night for both teams offensively. Boston has 3 hits, all 3 doubles. The Indians have just 2 hits on the evening and both singles. But the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead. One of those runs, an unearned run. Victor Martinez doubled his last time up. Shoots it foul the other way, out of play.
Well, it looks like to me Victor's trying to shoot him that way. He hit the double off the wall. Maybe worth trying to go inside a little bit and back him off. He had a pretty good pitch his last time up.
All 3 of Boston hits have been guys who led off an inning. The rest of their lineup's 0 for 12. The 0-2 trying to wrap it around the outside corner, couldn't do it. Just a bit outside, 2-2. And Victor Martinez has a 2-hit night. Shin-Soo Choo scoops it up quickly. And again, it's the leadoff hitter who has
something?
The hit for Boston. All 4 of their knocks tonight.
It's been Scudero or it's been Martinez.
Here's our Miller Taste Greatness moment from September of 2008. I'm guessing it's going to be a Victor Martinez moment, and it is. Victor with a walk-off winner against the Minnesota Twins. He had a few of those in his days with Cleveland. Now it's J.D. Drew who has flied to center and walked tonight. Down low. 2 balls, no strikes. J.D. Drew, 6 homers, 33 ribbies on the year, 14 doubles, a triple. When healthy, terrific player. But his problem has been, throughout his career, staying on the field.
Yes, it has. Well, they knew that, I think, coming in when they signed him. Remember, he had a deal, opted out when he was with the Dodgers, came over to Boston, signed a bigger deal, and the same thing happened.
Lazy pop. Shallow left center. Donald called off by Kearns, who comes rolling in to make the catch. 1 down. Here's the answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T Rethink Possible. Indians' single season record for most home runs as a catcher. I was thinking Johnny Romano. And the reason I thought that, Rick, is because I remember when Victor broke his
very good
overall record for most home runs as a catcher.
1962.
25 homers.
And that's back when, 25 homers, that's a big number. Absolutely back in the 60s. 25 is, it's getting back to that now, isn't it? 25 is a solid number now.
Think about all the years you played at Old Cleveland Stadium. I mean, to lead the team in home runs, nobody was hitting a ton of home runs to lead the team.
You wouldn't
back
hit
then.
over 30. Andy Thornton was probably the guy back in the day where he was hitting in his 20s.
28
couple of times he'd have 30.
Swung on and missed. 1-1 to count. Beltre 0 for 2 tonight. Beltre never put up the kind of numbers in Seattle that they thought he would when they paid big money to get him as a free agent after the monster season he had in his last year with the Dodgers.
Well, he was playing his free agent year. That's why. I mean, he was going out there, and that Seattle ballpark's not an easy place to hit to be a good power hitter.
Jason Donald took the circuitous route but makes the catch. 2 down. You don't see many shortstops go all the way to center and end up almost in right center where he made that catch, but he hung with it. Nice job. Been impressed with the grit and the determination of Jason Donald in this, his first taste of big league baseball.
Well, he's going to get a good look at it this year with Cabrera on the disabled list.
Bill Hall looks at a ball outside, but even him knowing that, I haven't ever once looked at him and thought, well, here's a guy who knows he's going to get a chance to play every day.
No, he's not like that.
No,
I mean, it was his first chance. He stepped up to the plate in his very first at-bat and got his first major league hit against a tough pitcher, David Price, if you remember, down in Tampa. First 2 times. No, that he's going to be a good player. I think when all's said and done, he may be on the other side of that diamond playing second base when Cabrera comes back. But he's a high energy kind of player.
This Indians team was going to have a tough time competing, even with 100% healthy and with everybody hitting on all cylinders. But to lose Grady Sizemore and Asdrubal Cabrera, it's put guys like Donald and Trevor Crowe, and who knows, eventually others perhaps too will get their chance. Put them front and center on the big stage.
Well, this is their opportunities now, the young kids, to come up and show what they can do. You can't, I mean, you may never get another opportunity like this again, is the way you have to look at it as a player. I mean, they are very fortunate, boy, and when that door opens or you see a crack in it, you better not let it slam. You better jump through it and take that opportunity, and don't take it lightly. Because you can force that man's hand right there and say, I want to play. I'm forcing him to play me every day, even when you do get your players back. That's the great thing about this game.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4. He's walked Bill Hall for the second time tonight.
That's 5 walks for Fausto tonight.
Brings up Josh Reddick. He's 0 for 2 tonight. So Mike Redmond out to talk with Carmona to get him refocused here to try to get through this 6th inning. Some stirring in the Indians bullpen. No activity, though. However, Carmona is closing in on that 100 pitch mark. Red Sox lead it 2-0, but they're hitless with a runner in scoring position on the night, 0 for 8. And Fausto misses for ball 1. This will be the 100th pitch of the night for Carmona. And it's in the air, center. Crow. Inning over. Nice job by Carmona once again to get out of some trouble. Red Sox strand 2 more. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Boston. Boston on top. Bottom of the 6th inning here at Progressive Field. Top of the order coming up for Cleveland. Trevor Crow, Shin-Soo Choo, Austin Kearns. Carmona's made 100 pitches. Daisuke Matsuzaka has made just 68 thus far here tonight. Indians only had 2 hits. 2 hits, 4 base runners. We've also had 1 walk. That was Trevor Crow's base on balls back in the 3rd inning. And Jason Donald reached on what really should have been a hit but was ruled an error in the 5th. Up high, 2-0. There's a pitch right down the heart of the plate.
You can see that pause that he has once he takes his hands over his head. He just sits there and waits for a good 2 seconds. Gets himself ready and then all of a sudden comes at you.
2-2 the count on Trevor Crow. as the Indians try to break through against Boston here. We're in the 6th inning. It's been a game that really hasn't had much of a rhythm or a flow to it. It's been a very quiet.
Well, the Indians haven't had any base runners. I mean, the Sox have, and then Fausto's pitched a nice game and pitched out of it. He's gotten out of it. They've had leadoff men aboard almost every inning.
Struck him out looking. Second strikeout for Matsuzaka. Both have been freeze frames. Well, the Indians have made their first-round pick, the 5th overall selection in the draft tonight. Indians selected left-handed pitcher Drew Pomerantz. And here's Brad Grant, director of scouting, on that selection.
Drew's a 6'5", 230-pound left-handed starter for the University of Mississippi. He brings a power arsenal. It's a 90 to 95-mile-an-hour fastball that he gets swing and miss with. It's a hard, late, sharp-breaking curveball with swing and miss effect. It's a very good changeup, and it's a strike thrower with ability to start.
So there it gives you sort of the thumbnail sketch on Drew Pomerantz. And obviously, Rick, the hope with a guy who's 21 years old and who has pitched in college is that he can get through your minor league system a little bit quicker than your high school pitcher could.
Oh, there's no question about it. They haven't taken a high school guy, I don't think, in the last, 10 years. And in hopes, because you're mature and you're ready to go. And, when you look at some of the kids nowadays, and there's some good young pitchers at the major league level that have gotten here in a year or two.
Shin-Soo Choo with the Indians' 3rd hit of the night. A 1-out single here in the 6th. Well, you think about...
I think of Porcello. I think of
Detroit.
Verlander.
Yeah.
Some of their young #1 draft picks have made it early. And, why not?
Neiman in Tampa Bay.
We're going to see a kid pitching here Sunday with Washington. That was the #1 draft pick last year. That
Steven
got a ton of money.
Yeah.
That, is supposed to be phenomenal. He's making his start tomorrow in Washington and then coming here. And those are 2 guys that were there a few years ago. They're retired right now.
Those were not high draft picks.
No, those are diamonds in the rough.
Here is Austin Kearns, 1 for 2.
Boy, our camera guys, they don't miss anything, do they? Welcome back home again. We've been on the road for 10 days. We missed the great camera guys we got here.
Speaking of diamonds in the rough, our trivia question tonight. We were talking about the most home runs in a single season by an Indians catcher. The answer was Johnny Romano at 25. There's a lazy fly to right field. That'll be out number 2. One of our fans following us on Facebook wrote in and said, hey, wait a minute. I remember Gary Alexander. You played with Gary.
Yeah.
He had 27 in 1 year. Problem is
Not
they
as a
weren't all
catcher.
with the Indians. He had 17 that year with the Indians, but 10 were with Oakland. He was traded in the middle of that season.
I got you. And some of them may have come as a DH as well. Because he was a catcher and DH. He wasn't the greatest catcher, but he did DH some games as well. So I'll tell you what, those fans are on it, though, aren't they?
Kidding, boy. They don't miss much.
But now, do they get those numbers right from the internet? Or do they remember them in their head?
That I don't know. You're right, Rick. Looking it up here, 66 games that year he was behind the plate. Speaking of Gary Alexander, 25 games he DH'd for the Indians.
Does it have the breakdown in numbers?
You know what, I'm looking here. Does not. For some reason, it's not showing me.
Okay.
Russell Branyan, 1 out of 2. Two balls, no strikes. And he's outside 3 balls and no strikes. And with this shift on, they're really pitching him away, trying to get him to go out there and roll over on it.
Well, Dice K's not going to give in here. This is the guy that, he's going to try and make his pitch. If not, he'll go to the next guy, which is Peralta, the right-hander, who he's handled twice tonight. He is a guy that never gives in. He's either going to make it paint. He does not pitch to the middle of the plate at all. He pitches to the edges.
Well, let's see. Here we go. 3-1 to count on Branyan. Oh, Branyan had a pitch there, but couldn't square it up. Two down, and Chu will be off with a 3-2 pitch, and Branyan waves at it. Third strikeout for Dice K, and after 6 complete, it's 2-0 Boston.
Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
All right, 2-0 Boston as we go to the 7th inning. And leading off is Marco Scutaro. He has 2 of the Red Sox 4 hits tonight, both doubles. In fact, 3 of the 4 Boston hits have been doubles. Scutaro has 2 of them. Victor Martinez has the other. And Victor has also singled. So Scutaro and Martinez have accounted for all 4 Red Sox hits tonight. The only other base runners, Carmona had a throwing error that allowed Josh Reddick to reach to start the 3rd inning. He's also walked 5 hitters. Right-hander Hector Ambrose warming in the pen.
Well, he would love Carmona to get through this inning right here.
4th time through the lineup, though, always tough.
Yeah, it is. But the 2 guys that have done the damage, it's been this guy and it's been Victor. And it's been leading off innings. That's all their hits. He's been able to battle through the innings. He's walked 5. He has struck out 2. But he's been in control, really. I mean, other than that, the balls haven't been hit hard. He's really, I mean, he got a couple outs that he needed to get out. Ortiz
almost hit him, but it goes to the backstop, full count.
He just hasn't been able to throw that pitch for a strike to Scutaro today. I don't know if that's the changeup that goes inside or he just gets underneath that sinker there and runs it in, because Scutaro doubled the last time to right center.
That's yanked
Another
deep down the left field line.
double.
Kearns will look up. That's off the fence. Oh, long throw and able to hang on to the bag somehow. Scutaro. Valbuena saying he came off. But second base umpire Todd Tichenor not buying it.
This is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, to tell you,
third double for
third
Scutaro.
hit, third double to lead off an inning. It was a great throw by Kearns, except it was just a little off the bag. If he was on the money, he gets him. And there's that ball inside that he turns on. The last one away, he went to right center field. He's putting on the hitting clinic. Here comes a throw from Kearns, and Valbuena is off the bag, and he is on the base, at least from that angle, unless his foot came off.
Looks he's off. Well, I don't know. Maybe his foot was still in touch with it.
It's still there. It's still on the base, and then he just reaches back with his hand. That was a good slide.
So the leadoff man aboard once again for Boston. And Carmona will have to try and get out of trouble once again. The good news is he's retired Dustin Pedroia all 3 times tonight. He's the batter.
Well, the thing of it is, it's tough to keep pitching through this.
One more look at this play at second base. Did
See
he
if
come
his
off
toe,
the bag?
See if his toe stays on. There may be a cleat. His cleat may have been off. But I give him credit. Look at that leg. And then comes the hand, although the glove was still there. It was awfully close.
Could the umpire have ruled that he pushed him off and that's not allowed?
Well, yes.
Unless you're Ken Herbeck in the World Series?
Well, I guess you could have, but he didn't push him off. That's close enough. He said he stayed on it. He might have saw his cleat on the bag. Who knows?
Was that Lonnie Smith or was it Ron Gant? Ron Gant, he tried to. Remember that in the 91 World Series?
I do remember it. I forget who the player was.
There weren't too many people Ken Herbeck couldn't pick up and remove from a bag.
It was Ronnie Gant.
Was it? Second time in Marco Scutaro's career, he's had a 3-double game. Right now, Carmona's falling behind Pedroia 3-0. And that is in there for a strike. 110 pitches on the night for Fausto. This will equal his season high right here. And it's ball 4. So 2 on, nobody out. David Ortiz coming up, and we're going to have a change. Maniacta will make a move to the bullpen as Carmona has allowed the first 2 to reach here in the 7th inning. Fausto gave it a game effort tonight, didn't have his best stuff. He leaves allowing 2 runs, 1 earned, and responsible for the 2 men on base here in the 7th. Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Kevin Youkilis with the first inning sac fly, scoring Marco Scudero. And then David Ortiz beats out a double play ball. Stop the presses. Big Poppy hustling down the line.
Yeah, that was a gift run, that second one. They had no hits, and they got it. They got a run in that inning.
So Carmona, the 6 walks obviously hurt him from a pitch count standpoint.
Yes, it did. And that ties a season high.
But the walks didn't hurt him otherwise
to this point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know, and when you look at it, think about the last game Fausto pitched. It was the no-hitter, the perfect game. He has had no run support in his last 15 innings. So it's tough to do anything. I mean, he's pitched 2 very good games, and you keep Boston in it, you keep your team in it. He's got nothing to show for it, and that's hopefully they can get through this inning and keep it a 2-0 game.
Now David Ortiz facing Rafael Perez here. You know, I think it's important to point out that a lot of people said that the undoing of Fausto Carmona was in the league championship series in 07 against the Red Sox. They were the first team that really made him throw strikes and didn't swing at the ball off the plate.
Back in 07.
And that maybe carried over into 08 for Carmona when he had the disastrous season, and even in the last year. Well, Rafael Perez is another guy who was dynamite in 2007. 44 games that year. Rafael Perez had a 1.78 earned run average. That's how good he was. In the division series against the Yankees, pitched in 3 games, had a 1.50 ERA. In the league championship series against Boston, pitched in 3 games, 1 inning, 7 hits, 8 runs allowed. 2 home runs hit. So not only did Carmona run into a buzzsaw in that 07 LCS, but the Indians, for all intents and purposes, their best reliever that year also.
When you look at it, they had a 3-1 lead on the Red Sox. They were playing game 5 here. You had CeCe, you had Carmona, you had Westbrook to beat them. You had 3 chances, 3 your best. You couldn't do it. So I think everybody sort of took a back seat. The best start was from Westbrook in Game 7. There you go.
Valbuena gets 1 at second base. They won't be able to turn it. Red Sox at the corners. With 1 out, Kevin Youkilis coming to the plate. We'll go back to the studios for this in-game update. Here's Al.
Man, one other game going on tonight in the American League. Seattle at Texas, and Michael Saunders leaving the yard. 3rd time this year. It's a 3-run homer in the 2nd. The M's lead the Rangers 4-0. That ball game now going to the top of the 4th inning in Arlington. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. Red Sox at the corners. Kevin Youkilis 0 for 2. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly, his first time up. And looks at a ball in the dirt from Perez. So twice tonight, David Ortiz has hit a ball so weakly they couldn't turn a double play on him.
Either that or he's getting a lot faster down the line.
If that's the
case. And I don't think that's the case. If you see, I'm sure you saw the article in the paper where he has the 5 slowest home run times this year, 30 seconds to get around the bases after he hits a home run. I'm serious. I
didn't know they kept that sort of.
Someone documented it. I just read it. We were on the road somewhere, and I ran into it. I said, 30 seconds on 5 of his home runs this year. Slowest times in the league.
The 2-0 pitch now to Youkilis. Foul tipped into the glove of Redmond. First and third with one out here in the seventh inning. Red Sox up 2-zip. And the 2-1 to Youkilis. In the dirt. And then you got the switch hitting Victor Martinez next, then the left-handed hitting J.D. Drew.
Well, you know they're not going to start the runner here. They're just going to let Youkilis hit. He's got a good eye at the plate. He's going to force you to throw a strike, but he's going to look for something he can drive. He wants to drive that guy in from third.
Three-one pitch. Up high, ball four, and they're loaded.
Well, the one good thing, you make your pitch to Victor, you got a chance for a double play ball. But looks like Manny's coming back out.
Yeah, he wants to go to the bullpen. So Rafael Perez will exit. And the youngster Hector Ambrose coming into a bases loaded, one-out situation when we come back. Loaded with a one out here in the seventh inning. Victor Martinez will be the batter, and he's already had a good night in his return to Cleveland. He doubled off the wall in left field back in the fourth inning, and then he went to the opposite field, or actually pulled this ball after going to the opposite field in his first at bat, and his second hit of the night. So Victor Martinez 2 for 3, and he will be facing someone he never knew as an Indians teammate, Hector Ambrose.
Well, now is when you want the ground ball, because you got another chance to turn the double play and get yourself out of the inning. Ambrose coming into a bases loaded situation. This is going to be tough for the young man. No room for error, one out. And a guy, I mean, Victor's got 2 hits and Scudero has 3. That's it for Boston tonight. The 2 guys that have the 5 hits in their lineup. Scudero is on at third base. He has led off today 3 straight doubles in the first, the 5th, and the 7th.
The runners at second and at third are responsibility of Fausto Carmona. The runner at first, Rafael Perez's responsibility. And Hector Ambrose quickly falls behind 1-0. What we noticed a lot with Martinez in bases loaded situations is that he would be overly aggressive. Sometimes he would go out there.
Yes, he would. You're absolutely right. He was never a really good hitter with bases loaded.
I mean, a 304 average is fine. That ball's hammered, though. Deep left center field. Crow onto the track, pulls it down. Scudero will tag and score, and it's a 3-0 Boston lead, 2 down. Victor with his 30th run batted in on the year. And again, in this situation, Victor's not a guy who's going to work deep in the count and wait for that perfect pitch. He's going to get a pitch that he can do something with, get that run home from third, whatever the case is.
They have two of their runs tonight have come off sacrifice flies. Their other one has come on a ground ball out. So they have not gotten a hit to drive in a run tonight.
J.D. Drew with 2 down, 0 for 2 tonight. Looks at ball 1 outside. One and 1 to count. Off-speed pitch, couldn't get him to chase.
Well, this is another one of the veteran hitters in that lineup that has a very good eye at the plate. Rarely will you get him to go outside the zone to chase. He's patient. They'll go deep in the count. They're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
And it's 3-1 with the right-handed hitting Adrian Beltre on deck.
Not a bad pitch right there. They're not calling it low. You don't want to have to elevate it much higher than that.
And that time it's called a strike. Full count. J.D. Drew not in agreement. But now he's got to be wondering if the one before was a ball and that one was a strike.
Well, I'll tell you, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt here. It's a guy hitting.
That's what I was thinking. Payoff pitch, runners go. Breaking ball hit up the middle. Donald fields, fires, got him. Now, nice job by Hector Ambrose. Red Sox tack on a run on the sac fly, but no further damage. Stretch time in Cleveland, 3-0 Boston.
For a stuffed sandwich at any Panini's locations, from Westlake to Willoughby, Panini's is your patio headquarters. For a list of their overall locations, visit paninisgrill.com. Bottom half of the 7th, and the Indians offense going to try and solve or do something here to Dice K. He has been brilliant tonight in his first 6 innings. Just 3 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 3.
Johnny Peralta jumps back out of the way from a breaking ball.
Two out of those three punch-outs have been called. And he is just at the 85 pitch mark. This is one of his better games.
Missed inside, 2-0. This is only Daisuke's fourth career start against the Indians and only his second at Progressive Field. Again, I think it goes back to all the hype surrounding his coming to the big leagues. It seems like we've seen him a lot more than that, but we really haven't. And he has pitched well against the Indians, winning each of his last two starts. 1.38 ERA. That's 2 earned runs in 13 innings in those last two starts against the Tribe. His only other start here at Progressive Field was in July of 2007, when he went 7 scoreless frames. And the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, so he's walked the leadoff man. And that is the first time tonight the Indians have had their leadoff man aboard.
Well, we want you to fill the house for the March of Dimes, which takes place on Wednesday as the Indians continue this series with the Red Sox. 7:05 start. For every ticket sold, $1 will be donated to that charity, which is the March of Dimes. Great seats still available, so call 216-420-HITS for your tickets.
Here's Travis Hafner. He is grounded to second and flied out to right.
They've just never been able to go back-to-back today. You know what I mean? They've had a couple of base runners, but that's it. They haven't been able to put 2 on without, and really put them in any hot water.
High pop fly to center. And that's out number 1. So that brings up Luis Valbuena 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded to second and been called out on strikes.
You look at both these teams tonight, Matt, between the Red Sox and the Indians. The pitchers have done a nice job. Between both teams, they're 0 for 22 when pitchers have come from the stretch. Don't have a base hit yet.
Sometimes there are strange occurrences that just don't add up. I mean, there are certain stats and trends that make sense. Okay, I get it. I get this. I get that. But then there are things, for example, what a player hits in games on Wednesday, for example. I mean, it makes no sense to me. But there are stats that are kept, and that's one of those ones right there. Well, why the teams can't get to a guy out of the stretch doesn't make any sense.
Normally, they usually can. I mean, especially when I told you earlier, Daisuke with runners on base. This year, hitters are hitting 322 off him. And just 190 from the full windup. And I can see that because he gets his momentum going.
Bill Hall makes the grab and left, 2 down. I mean, certainly you could think of things like, well, the offense is, once the guy comes out of the stretch, they're not as patient. They're helping him out. There are probably a myriad of excuses you can come up with, but normally, when there are guys on base, it's tougher on the pitcher. He's worrying about the runners on base, worrying about giving up a run.
Well, the Indians haven't had a whole lot of base runners tonight. They've left 4 stranded, and I believe they've had 1 opportunity with a runner in scoring position, and that's it. So they really haven't put any pressure on Dice K. He's been in cruise control. On the other hand, now, Carmona's the one that's pitched out of hot water, and Perez and Ambrose are the guys. They've had scoring position, and they don't have a hit with a runner in scoring position. They've got sacrifice flies and a ground ball out. The Indians just haven't done anything offensively today. I don't know if they're tired from that 10-game trip and the first game back, or Dice K's been pitching that well.
Well, the bottom line is the Red Sox have had their leadoff man aboard all night long. All but 1 inning, they've had their leadoff man on base. And when you can do that, you have better chances.
Yeah, your chances of scoring increase, that's for sure.
Indians, this is the first time all night they've had their leadoff man aboard, and they haven't done anything with it. And that was with a walk. And, of course, the Red Sox have had 3 leadoff doubles tonight. 4 leadoff doubles? Yeah, 4.
Victor had 1.
Yeah, I forgot about Vic. 1-2 the count on Mike Redmond. And strike 3 called, ends the inning. So the Indians offense really sputtering here tonight. 7 in the books, 3-zip Red Sox.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Adrian Beltre looks at a strike. Bottom third of the order due up here for Boston in the 8th inning. Beltre, Bill Hall, and Josh Reddick. Fastball driven to right field. Racing back is Chu, and it's off the middle of the fence. Look out. He's got a great arm, and the throw is too far off the mark.
Another double.
And Beltre with another leadoff double. Unreal.
Double your pleasure. That is number 5 for them, and every one of them have let off an inning. This one going the other way, and he's got great power the other way. Stays back on the baseball. Chu played it beautifully, but the throw just a little too high, a little too much on it. He goes in head first.
See if Bill Hall may be bunting here. Although with Josh Reddick on deck,
Now,
probably
you
not.
got a 3-0 lead. You're deep in the ball game. Go ahead and swing the bat. No reason to bunt. The Indians haven't mounted anything. This is your opportunity to really go for a big inning.
Leadoff hitters for the Red Sox have gone 6 for 8 tonight. Nobody else has a hit. He showed bunt. Ball's in the dirt by the time Redmond pounced on it. Beltre is in the third.
Good read by Beltre. Heads up play. You could see Hall up at the plate telling him to go ahead. He was going to try and bunt just to get him over there. And, you know, when you're up there as a hitter, you do what you want to do to get him over. But he takes that curveball backhand from Redmond. Read nicely. Watch the read. He didn't hesitate. That's how you get that extra base. So now the infield's going to have to come in.
And a pitch in for a strike, 2-1 to count on Hall. Two-one fouled back. Indians don't have the infield all the way in, but they're about even with the bags around the horn.
Well, and that way, as a base runner, you don't have to run. You can make it go through. You know, if the manager chooses, you know, with nobody out, say, hey, make the ball go through. Or you can say, go ahead and go on contact, depending on the speed of your base runner and the kind of instinct he has. But he has very good instinct because he got to third base on that little ball that was out in front of Redmond.
Redmond stops that ball. 3-2 the count. Payoff pitch. And that is smoked. Deep left field. High off the wall. Hall digging for 2. And he is out at second base. So there will not be another double in the inning for Boston.
There won't be. It looks like Valbuena got spiked, though. But I'll tell you what, it was finally. They've had enough practice on that, taking the ball off the wall and throwing to second base. Finally, Kearns gets somebody. It's Bill Hall. Not before he drives in the run. 3-2 heater. And watch off the wall. I mean, these guys have had practice tonight making this play. Now watch the throw. His leg's down there, and his shoe comes up over the bag and cleats him on his right on the shin. Got him on his calf muscle. May have a little cleat mark there, but they retire Hall.
Josh Reddick 0 for 3 tonight. Last 2 times up, he has flied to center. This has been one of those games where the only word I can use to describe Boston's performance is workmanlike. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy. Just very matter of fact. They came in here and they have taken care of business. They haven't done anything that makes you go, wow. Although Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, that's what makes you go, wow.
Three hits over 7 innings, pretty impressive.
You know, they've had an opportunity here to really have a big day. You know, as far as offensively go, they've got 4 on the board. You say, well, 4 should be enough. But, you know, they haven't had to put much pressure on them. They haven't allowed any runs. So, And I mean, no pressure whatsoever. They know they're here for a 4-game series. And I'll tell you, it doesn't get any easier. Tomorrow night, you got the knuckleballer, Wakefield. And then you get the big boys. You get, was it Buchholz and then Lester? The righty and then the lefty. So this is going to be a tough series offensively for these Tribe hitters. They got to understand that right now.
Clay Buchholz already has 8 wins. John Lester has 7. Up the middle, a base hit, and I mean that was smoked by Reddick. So 3 straight hits to open the 8th inning for Boston.
Thursday will be Sugardale Dollar Dog night when this series wraps up against the Red Sox. It's a 7:05 start. So head down to the ballpark, enjoy the hot dogs for $1 all night long. Tickets on sale now at Indians.com. And I believe we're at Channel 3 game on Thursday, aren't we?
That is correct.
WKYC, baby.
That is right. Here's the pitch down low. Marco Scutaro has been on his scooter all night. He has 3 doubles. He has scored 2 runs. He has also walked once. High with the pitch. And it's 3-0. Marco Scutaro providing instant offense for Boston tonight out of that leadoff spot. Taking all the way, it's 3-1. One-time Indians farmhand. Bounces it to third. Peralta with a backhander. Look to second. Takes the out at first. 2 down.
Well, and you can see the decision that Peralta made. He wanted to go to second base. Wasn't sure he could get that lead runner, so you make sure you get the out at first base. I mean, he took a peek, and he wanted to, but he felt, as I look, I'm not sure I can get him. So you got to be 100% sure and take the out. Very good move.
Dustin Pedroia 0 for 3, walked his last time up. Fastball for a strike from Hector Ambrose. Pedroia, 8 home runs, 19 doubles.
Well, this guy, he swings hard. He doesn't get cheated. He's a high fastball hitter. Loves that pitch up in the zone. And he will get after it for a little guy. But don't let the size fool you.
His 8 home runs would be tied for the team lead with Cleveland, and his 19 doubles would lead. Just interesting, a guy of his stature can generate that kind of extra base pop.
He will chase some high heaters. He thought about that one, but did not.
Runner at second, 2 down on the 1-2 pitch. Too low and a bit wide. Evens the count. Pedroia plays with that Incredible self-confidence.
Well, he was at, Arizona State? And also Ian Kinsler was there, and then Kinsler transferred to, where was it, Oklahoma State? How about those two second basemen? They're two of the best in this league, that's for sure.
Yeah, didn't Kinsler move over to shortstop because of that?
Well, I'm not sure he did at the collegiate level, but I'll tell you what, that guy's fun to watch, too, with Texas, their second baseman. He is a treat. You talk about guys that swing the bat with authority. And their second baseman, they've got some thump in this league at the second base position.
And the 2-2.
Robinson Cano.
Struck him out looking. Nice pitch by Hector Ambriz. But the Red Sox tack on another run. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 4-zip Boston. Where the Indians have managed just 3 hits tonight against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Only once have the Indians had their leadoff man aboard, and that was last inning when they got a leadoff walk. They've had 1 runner reach second base tonight, and that was a Trevor Crowe stolen base back in the 3rd.
Right, only had 1 opportunity to try and get one home.
And that was after 2 men were out, too.
Right.
This will be the 100th pitch of the night for Daisuke. And Jason Donald, 0 for 2. Although, in all fairness, he should have had a hit back in that 5th inning.
Well, very easily could.
Hard ground ball to third. It was really a one-hopper.
Well, it was down, and you know what? Here's the situation is because Beltre is such a good third baseman, you don't make the play, you're given an error. You know what I'm saying? On somebody else over there at third, they may have given him a hit. But either way, I mean, you like to get the hit offensively. It wouldn't have mattered.
And I could see the official scorer's decision there. I mean, he was in front of it. He did.
Right.
He had to slide. He had to make a step to his left to get in front of it. That ball had some pretty good heat coming off it.
Well, all things considered, I mean, there's still the Indians looking to get shut out for the 6th time this year.
This was the play back in the 5th inning.
There you go. Now watch. He's going to have to take that 1 step to the left, takes it, but that ball was down and it stayed down on him.
And in super slow motion like that, it doesn't give you quite the effect. That ball was hit hard.
Yes, it was. This guy's a very good third
baseman. They all look
baseman.
easy in slow motion, don't they?
They all look easy. These guys make it look easy.
Art back up the middle, and Jason Donald has a leadoff single for the Indians.
Well, there you go. He picks on a breaking ball. Gets the curve ball and takes it right back up the middle. Stayed back on it. Good job. Gets it past Matsusaka into center field. 4th hit now for the Tribe. All singles.
And Trevor Crow, 0 for 2. Downstairs for ball 1. Victor Martinez is going to go out and try to communicate with the Japanese right-hander. You know, it's interesting, Rick, too. Obviously, there are some issues when it comes to speaking the language. When you've got a Japanese player, you've got Latin American players, you've got obviously English-speaking players trying to. But I read a poll recently where players polled said that's no big deal because baseball has a universal language and terminology that everybody can figure out and understand.
Yes.
And nobody's going out there on
Throw
the mound
strikes.
to deliver a 3-minute soliloquy. I mean, it's pretty much, hey.
It's basic. It's
exactly.
simple. Throw strikes, get ahead. You know, they know everything that you're talking about from in the clubhouse. I mean, these guys, they understand the lingo.
One pitch. Now, if he was going out there to give him directions to his favorite restaurant in a certain city, that might be a different story. He might have to take the translator with him. But if he's going out there to tell him how to attack a hitter, they've gone through spring training. They've had meetings. They know what the situations are. And again, you can say a lot sometimes with body language and gesturing to let a guy know what you're thinking. Tapper to short. They get 1, turn 2.
They turned it nicely, boy. Scudero and Pedroia. Very quick. That helps you right there. That helps the pitcher out. That double play, they turned it. Watch how quick Scudero gets it over to Pedroia because they know that Crow can get down the line as soon as he hits it. Gets it to him, the quick feed, the quick turn, and gets him by a good step. And look at that. Dice K said, yes, I made my pitch, and they did the job.
Dice K trying to work 8 innings for the second time this year. And he's at 7 2/3. With Shin-Soo Choo standing in his way. 1 for 3 tonight. Good pitch. I mean, right at the knees. And it's 1-1. Over the top of the Indians' dugout into the crowd, sent them scattering. Everybody appears to be okay, and somebody's got themselves a souvenir to take home. He knew the minute he checked his swing that this ball was headed for trouble.
Well, you know, you're late. You're late on it. There's not much you can do. It's going into the seats. You just don't want it to hit anybody.
2 balls, 2 strikes. By the way, speaking of the folks in the seats, just 14,758 here tonight. Two up high. No, called third strike. Boy, it looked high.
Yeah, he gave him a break there. It did look high.
He rings up Chu. So the inning is over. We'll go to the 9th. 4-0 Boston. As we go to the ninth inning here at Progressive Field, Indians go back to the bullpen. Frank Herman coming on for the third time this year. 2 2/3, a couple of punch outs. He's allowed 1 hit.
Well, and he was in a couple of tough situations in games in Chicago where he had a couple of base runners and had to get out of it. Was able to do it on a couple line drives to left field. But there's nothing better. You get called up, let's go. We're going to bring you into ball games.
And David Ortiz takes a strike. Herman, a native of New Jersey, Rutherford, New Jersey. And we told you before, went to Harvard originally to play both football and baseball. Was a terrific high school football player, quarterback. But eventually just settled on baseball. Signed with the Indians after he went undrafted out of college back in August of 2005. First year in pro baseball, Lake County was 4-6 with the Captains, a .390 earned run average. But that next year really broke out. He went 11-5 at Kinston. Followed that up with an 11-win year at Akron in 2008. And then last year was converted to the bullpen. So he started at Double-A where he had a .293 earned run average. And promoted to Triple-A Columbus where in 44 games had an earned run average of .296. And then this season, his earned run average was ridiculous, like .031. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Ortiz.
Well, he stayed away, and that ball running away about mid-90s. Got Ortiz to swing and miss. Good pitch.
And now Kevin Youkilis, 0 for 2 with a sac fly and a walk tonight. Drove in the Red Sox first run back in inning number 1. Checked on a ball down low. One ball, 2 strike pitch. Missed inside. After Herman finished up college at Harvard and did not get drafted, he pitched in the Hawaii Collegiate Baseball League. Now that sounds like a fun place to go and pitch.
Yeah. What do they play, once a week?
I don't know if the ball travels well. Who cares, right? You're in Hawaii.
You serve 6 days and play 1.
But in an example of how scouts are everywhere, that's where Phil Rossi, scout for the Indians, first saw or really found Frank Herman, caught his attention, and then the Indians signed him in the later that summer. Bouncing ball, foul. Frank actually signed with the Indians before his college days were over, so he was actually pitching for the Indians and finishing up his degree in economics from Harvard. Bouncing ball to third. Peralta slings it over. 2 down. Bruce Drennan is taking All Bets Are Off on the road again. This Thursday he'll be at Parma Town Mall for the Parma Ribbon Rock event. Admission to the event is free that day, 3 to 5. Rides, bands, lots of food, courtesy of the Parma Area Chamber of Commerce and Cox Communications. Don't miss All Bets Are Off. Live from Parma this Thursday for the 20th annual Parma Ribbon Rock event. Did we get a DVD of Popper's appearance on All Bets Are Off?
Oh, no. We did not, as a matter of fact.
What was the day we didn't televise? I think that was the day Mark Burley got thrown out of the game here in Cleveland.
Forgot to ask him how it went.
Yeah.
Well, he's here to talk about it at least.
0-1 pitch. How'd the game go last night? Did you stay up and watch the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, it was good.
Blackhawks.
Chicago blitzed them early.
Win?
Yeah. Broke out top 3 zip.
Not sure who Popper was pulling for in that finals.
Whoever won.
1-1. Bouncer to first. Brandon will take it himself. Frank Herman works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the last chance for the Indians is coming up next. 4-zip Boston. We go now to the bottom of the ninth here at Progressive Field. It's not a save situation, but Jonathan Papelbon is not available for the Red Sox. He's on their bereavement list, and we're told that will last perhaps through the rest of this series. In the meantime, Daniel Bard takes over at the back end of that Boston bullpen. So he's on here to try and finish it off. Austin Kearns, Russell Brandon, Johnny Peralta for the Indians.
Bard coming on for the 29th time this year. That leads the team in appearances. 1-1 and a fine 180 earned run average. Does have a save out in the air, but as you mentioned, just in to get some work. Following up a terrific performance by Daisuke Matsusaka, who went 8 innings, 4 hits. Did not allow a run. He walked 2, struck out 5, and really in no trouble. Had one guy in scoring position all night long.
Austin Kearns takes the first pitch strike. way outside. Bard, he can rush it up there in a hurry.
Yes, he can.
98 miles an hour. Back to the screen. Daniel Bard pitched collegiately at the University of North Carolina. Up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 in tight. Boy, he spun him out of there. There's a long drive, deep left field, and this baby is gone to Souvenir City. Austin Kearns with his 5th home run of the year breaks up the shutout, and it's a 4-1 ball game. That's the old saying, doesn't matter how hard they throw them.
That's exactly right.
They can go out twice as fast.
Well, he never took him off the fastball in this at-bat. And, I mean, it was nothing but straight fastball. He wasn't going to walk him. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. He got it down into the wheelhouse of Kearns. And he's been swinging the bat well and gave it a ride. 3rd right-hander to hit a home run in this ballpark for the Indians this year. Just their 14th homer at home. And it does get him on the board, but it was all fastballs and erratic, and Kearns knew he had to get one there. Full count, didn't want to walk him. Let me see how far you can hit it. And he hit it a long way.
Russell Brandon 1 for 3. It's a weak tapper into the teeth of that shift. Dustin Pedroia throws him out, 1 away. Tonight's player of the game is Daisuke Matsuzaka. Boy, what a night. 8 innings, 4 hits, shutout baseball.
It's about as good as you could pitch right there.
I mentioned earlier, Daniel Bard pitched collegiately at North Carolina, like former Indians reliever Paul Shuey. The only difference is Shuey was really he was a closer in college.
Right. Yes, he was.
Whereas Bard was a starter at North Carolina. He helped pitch them to the College World Series.
Well, Alex White, the Indians' first rounder last year, came out of North Carolina.
Another product of the Tar Heels. Wicked off-speed pitch. Boy, when he can throw at 98 and then just drop that in there at 86 miles an hour, very tough for a hitter.
Well, all comes back to this. The thing we talk about is all locating. Zumaya throws at 100, 101, you know, and he's got a great breaking ball, and he's got a nice changeup to go with it. But all said and done, it all comes back down to locating.
There's a line drive base hit for Johnny Peralta, his first of the night. And the Indians still have life here in the 9th inning. 1 on, 1 out for Travis Hafner.
Another fastball down. You see that glove? What? Look, you see where Victor's at? It's right there. I mean, he doesn't have to flinch. He's not going to have to catch that one.
Travis Hafner 0 for 3 on the night. The Indians need another base runner to bring the tying run to the plate here in the 9th now. And that fastball in there for a strike. Mentioned Bard was a starter in college, and that's what the Red Sox initially envisioned when they drafted him. His first season professionally was as a starter. But it didn't take long for the Red Sox to realize they might want to rethink that decision. Tapper towards second. Pedroia. Oh, what a backhanded pick. They get the out there. And Hafner reaches on the fielder's choice.
That was really a tough play. He wanted to backhand it, tag him, and throw. His footwork got caught up, but it was still an amazing catch on this backhand because the ball was hit. It wasn't an easy hop. See, he decides, I got to come in and get it. So he gets it on the short hop, and by the time that he wanted to tag Johnny, he does the right thing. Dodges him and doesn't let him get the double play. So he makes him move his feet, and he didn't have time to throw out Hafner. So Johnny did the right thing.
Luis Valbuena 0 for 3 is the batter. Takes a strike. Daniel Bard's first year professionally, Rick, back in 2007. He spent with Greenville and Lancaster. He posted a 7.05 earned run average between the two levels, and he walked 78 batters in 75 innings of work. High pop on the infield. Beltre calling for it. He's got it, and the game is over. Only the Austin Kearns 9th inning homer keeps the Indians from being shut out here tonight. But the end result is a 4-1 Red Sox win. With that victory, Boston is now 34-25 in the AL East. The Indians dropped to 21-35 on the season. The winning pitcher tonight, Daisuke Matsuzaka, he's now 5.